Hi everyone, and welcome once again to Southside Dodge Rebels This Week. The countdown is on to Friday's start to the regular season. In the meantime, we put a wrap on the preseason by showing you highlights from games in Lacombe and Stettler. We go behind the scenes and introduce you to the Rebels goaltending duel for this season. The legendary Cam Moon joins us, and we'll hear once again from Jared Waldo. Let's get right to it. The Red Deer Rebels wrapped up the preseason over the weekend with their annual Central Alberta tour. Friday night, they were in Lacombe to battle the Edmonton Oil Kings. One of the best things about these preseason games is the tailgating. Lacombe Minor Hockey once again giving fans a chance to get their eat on with some tasty burgers out front, and these little guys I'm sure will eat at some point. People of all ages coming from across town and throughout Central Alberta, all the proceeds going to Lacombe Minor Hockey.
It's something that we've been doing here in Lacombe for quite a few years, and have the Rebels come in and play the Oil Kings, get all the families out here, and it's a major fundraiser for our association, trying to keep fees down and get everybody out here to see some good WHL hockey and support those guys as well.
Rebels taking on one of their arch rivals in the Oil Kings. It's been a growing rivalry ever since Red Deer swept them in the playoffs 2 years ago. Patrick Bartosak getting the start. Early chance for the Rebels as Adam Cambites tracks down this loose puck and slides it out front for Turner Elson, but the shot goes well wide. Penalty trouble for the Rebels with Hamilton and Bittner in the sin bin. And the Oil Kings would capitalize as Bartosak makes the first save on the shot from Reed Duke, but Cameron Legault is all over the rebound. He puts it in for a 1-0 Edmonton lead. Rebels come close to tying it on a great play here by Connor Bleakley. He intercepts the pass, gets around one man, then beats Tristan Jerry with the backhand, but rings it off the post. Legault leads the odd man rush into the Rebels zone, makes a great pass to Henrik Samuelsson. He catches Bartosak out of the net with a beauty toe drag, but he can't put it home. Second period action now. Ryan Deck with the point shot, tipped in front, but Bartosak handles it easily. Colton Mayer brings the puck across the Edmonton line, then loses it, but he gets it back all alone in front before being hauled down. Not the most graceful play, but a good second effort by Mayer gets the Rebels a power play. But it's the Oil Kings who get the best scoring chance on that man advantage as Legault comes in for his second of the game. He rips one past Bartosak, but off the crossbar. Great work here by Charles Inglis in the corner. He spins and finds Mayer out front. He puts on a nice move and has a chance, but is foiled by a fantastic save by Laurent Brossois. Just off your screen, Keegan Lowe gets a hit in on Brooks Maxwell. Turner Elson didn't like it and takes him to task. Lowe gets a couple of good shots in at the start before Elson comes back with a few of his own. Pretty spirited tilt between these two NHL prospects. They battle until Elson gets the final shot in. Turner pretty jacked up, but his night was over. Still trailing by one, Corey Miette with a breakaway for the Rebels on a great pass from Bleakley, but Deck dives to get back in time to knock Miette off the puck. That's about as close as you get without getting a penalty shot called. Rebels on the attack. Puck finds its way to Charles Inglis, whose shot is tipped. It lays loose for a moment. Then check out the sweet hands by Colton Mayer. Between the legs, top shelf pass Brossois. Red Deer finally gets on the scoreboard. Midway through the third, it's 1-1. Now this scene looked scary at first, but it's not. Devin Fafford broke a skate blade and had to crawl back to the bench for some new steel. Radar Horning on the case as always. Mayer shows good hustle again on this play, but is interfered with by Dyson Mayo. Rebels appear to be getting another power play, but things aren't over just yet as all 10 players meet for a rumble in the Oil Kings zone. Mayer and Mitchell Moroz end up dancing in behind the net for their tilt. What a night for Colton Mayer. Long stretch pass out of the Edmonton zone. Cale Detzel unloads on Edgars Kulda. A massive hit by Detzel lands Kulda wondering if he's back home in Latvia. More fistic action. This time the captain, Adam Cambite, steps into the ring with big Henrik Samuelsson. Well, we think. Mark McCoy breaks in and fires a slapper on net, but Brossois comes out to make a fairly easy save on that one. Long shot from the point here by Edmonton's Steven Schwerkoff finds its way through a maze and right into the outstretched glove of Bolton Pouliot. Oil Kings try to retake their one-goal lead late in the third. Curtis Lazar is left alone in front, but Pouliot once again saves the day. Edmonton still pushing for the go-ahead marker. Lazar's shot is stopped. Puck goes high in the air, then bounces in the crease. Jan Bittner gets there first to clear it out of harm's way. Rebels completely on their heels late in the third as the Oil Kings come in yet again. Michael St. Croix fires but is denied. Mayo is also stopped. His second shot goes over the net. Another bullet dodged by the Rebels. More penalty trouble for the Rebs as this time Bittner and Inglis are in the penalty box in overtime. And that would spell doom. St. Croix fires it back to the point, goes over to Mayo. He goes top shelf through a screen and beats Pouliot for the game winner. Oil Kings pull out a 2-1 victory.
The loss is disappointing, obviously, but our goal here, the message at the end of last weekend, is that we had to improve and improve in a lot of areas, and I thought we did that. We've come a long way in a week. I thought our battle level was much better, the compete level, and they're a good hockey team. It was a good test tonight, and I thought we responded to it well, right from start to finish. We did a good job of finishing checks and competing hard. I thought we created a lot more opportunities in the offensive zone than we did last weekend. We created more offense, and I thought we were much better defensively. So we've still got a ways to go, no question, but I think we took big strides here this week.
Game stats brought to you by 247reddeer.ca. Both Bartosak and Pouliot solid between the pipes for the Rebels in this one. After that, the very next night, the Rebels headed out to Stettler to wrap up their preseason schedule with a date versus the Medicine Hat Tigers. Much like Lacombe, Stettler minor hockey offering some pregame eats out front in the parking lot. Gotta love fresh corn. Nicely done. Some ball hockey inside to work off some of those calories. Great silent auction items, autographs with Matthew Dumba. Another great night for Stettler minor hockey.
In the past, I actually played in this game in 2000, I think, but from that point to this point, it's gotten quite bigger, I think. The money that comes from tonight supports right to minor hockey. We got 300 kids in minor hockey, over 120 families, so it's a big night for us.
Red Deer native Derek Rickman in the Tigers lineup. The 20-year-old blue liner recently traded there from the Tri-City Americans. Curtis Valk leads the attack for the Tigers. He feeds Miles Koulis, who is denied by Bartosak. Valk then tries to jam it in through the side, but to no avail. Hunter Shinkarik blows past Cale Detzel on the left side and fires one top shelf past Bartosak. The Tigers sniper looks to be in fine form as he gives his team an early 1-0 lead. Big hit here by Adam Cambites on Trevor Cox in the neutral zone. Somehow, though, that got Canby a roughing minor. A scrum along the boards near the Rebels bench turns nasty as Mark McCoy drops the gloves with Jaden Hart. Not a lot of punches landed as the two tussle before McCoy lands the final one. Looks like he cut his own nose on his visor, making for quite a mess. McCoy's night was over early. Here comes Shinkarik again, this time down the right side in the second period. This time Bartosak makes the save. A bit of an oops here by the Rebels gives Valk a scoring chance in all alone. The puck sails on him a bit before he gets a decent shot off. Bartosak, though, with another great save. Riley Boomgarden was brought in for his ability to throw his weight around, and he does that here on Stephen Orr. Corey Miette comes in for his shot. That's blocked. Connor Blakely can't find it. Charles Inglis does, but Kenny Cameron makes the stop. Valk with another shot toward the net, but it's blocked by Fafford. Shinkarik chases down the loose puck, but is tied up by Bleakley on the back check. It's another close call. It stays 1-0 Tigers. Big collision here as Turner Elson gets the better of the Tigers' Boston Lair. Rebels tie it up early in the third. Great work in the corner by Colton Mayer. He finds Jan Bittner in the slot. The big Czech D-man goes top shelf for his first ever goal on North American ice. It's 1-1. Tigers looking to get their lead back when Kyle Becker's shot goes wide. Bartosak finds the rebound and covers up. Then an unfortunate brain fart by Charles Inglis. Hands Medicine Hat another power play. And wouldn't you know it, they take full advantage. Miles Koulis tucks it in short side. Likely one Bartosak will be mad at himself for leaving that post side open. 2-1 for the Tigers. Rebels with one last chance to tie the game up as Inglis finds Mayer in the slot, but he fans on his shot. The Tigers hang on for the 1-goal win. The Rebels go winless in the preseason despite another good effort.
A little bit inconsistent tonight. At times we did some good things. At other times we were on our heels a bit. I thought we were soft in our zone, particularly in the second period, but we got out there in the third and got back to our game. I thought we had some good sustained pressure in the third period and didn't give them much other than the power play where they scored on. And ultimately, that was the difference for us in the game again. We took a bad penalty there, and a veteran player can't take that penalty. It ends up being the difference in the game.
A frustrating game, I guess. You just felt like we kind of struggled in our D zone a bit, and we struggled breaking out at times, and then at times we held pressure in their end, and we did generate some chances, but it's a frustrating game, it felt like, for me anyways.
A couple of highlights for the Rebels in this game. Another solid game in net by Patrick Bartosak, and the first ever goal by Czech import defenseman Jan Bittner. Obviously disappointing that the Rebels went 0 for 6 in preseason action this year, but Cam Bites says the Rebels are more than willing to turn the page and move on.
We're not happy about it, and we know we need to get better from it, but I think we wake up tomorrow and the preseason's over now, and the preseason's a wash. It doesn't matter, and we're going into the regular season now, and so our goal this week is to get ready for the regular season and to come out with that win the first night.
Well, here's what's on tap for the Rebels' opening weekend of action in the regular season. Friday night, it's the Red Deer Advocate home opener versus the Calgary Hitmen. Then on Sunday, the Rebs head north to take on the Oil Kings. As always, you can hear every broadcast on 106.7 The Drive. Now here's a look at some of the latest roster moves. The Red Deer Rebels did plenty of wheeling dealing over the past week, sending guys home and bringing more guys in. First, they reassigned both Dexter Bricker and Vuki Mapafu. Bricker will play for Nipawin in the SJHL, while Mapafu returns to Midget AAA with the Saskatoon Contacts. Also, the Rebels bringing in 2 newcomers. Riley Benefield was cut earlier this month by the Calgary Hitmen. The 18-year-old Wetaskiwin native spent most of the last 2 seasons playing Junior B. Also new, Wyatt Johnson, an 18-year-old forward who was second in team scoring last year for Midget AAA Saskatoon Blazers, and who was released earlier this month by Vancouver. Johnson currently dealing with post-concussion issues, so it'll be a while before we see him on the ice with the Rebels. One other roster move saw the Rebels reassign forward Trace Elson to Whitecourt of the AJHL. The undisputed strength of this year's Red Deer Rebels team will be its goaltending duo. With an in-depth look at the puck-stopping 1-2 punch, here's Jared Waldo.
While there may have been some tough decisions to make elsewhere on the roster, deciding who is going to backstop the Red Deer Rebels this season was a much easier decision for head coach Jesse Wallen. Both Patrick Bartosak and Bolton Pouliot will return for another season as the Rebels 1-2 tandem in goal. Bartosak was having a very strong rookie campaign, that is until he was sidelined with a season-ending shoulder injury which capped his year at just 25 games. Still, after posting 14 wins and a solid .915 save percentage, Bartosak is fully healed and ready to backstop the Rebels once again.
It's feeling pretty good. I think it's perfectly healed. I spent lots of time in recovery at home in Czech Republic, so yeah, I think it feels all right, and it should be 100%.
Bartosak will have a familiar face helping him tend the twine. Bolton Pouliot returns after finishing strong last year to end the season and is looking forward to working with his partner in crime once again.
Me and Patty over the last year and a bit have become really good friends. You know, we hang out a lot outside of the rink. We do a lot on the rink. We hang out all the time. We help each other and we push each other and have a healthy competition with each other, so it's really good.
Though his preseason hasn't gone as strong as he'd like, Pouliot says he's working hard to keep himself at a high level as he prepares for regular season action.
Last year finished off really strong, and it's something that I really need to build off of. Can't dwell too much on it. I have to keep getting better. I have to keep looking forward and keep pushing myself, and me and Patty pushing each other, so it's good for both of us and lots of good things to look forward to.
That's exactly what the head coach likes to hear. Jesse Wallen says both Bartosak and Pouliot have earned the right to return as the netminders for his club.
It's huge for your team, and the guys playing in front of you, you know, it gives them confidence in the way they play to know that you've got a guy back there that's going to be able to be relied upon night in and night out. And I think we've got 2 guys right now that, regardless of who's in there, they're going to give us a solid effort and a chance to win.
Wallen says he'd like Pouliot to push for more games this season, which means we can assume Bartosak will get the lion's share. Still, Wallen says he doesn't have a plan in place and will ride the hot hand.
It's healthy competition. They know that you know, they can't let off. They can't slip because the next guy's there ready to take that next start. So I think it's a real healthy competition to have.
Bartosak and Pouliot have a nice chemistry and will no doubt push one another for starts. That's just fine with Pouliot, who seems to know that if he wants to dethrone his partner, he'll need to be at his best.
We're here to play games, and it's just pushing each other and having that healthy competition. It's good for everybody. It's good for the team.
For Rebels This Week, I'm Jared Waldo.
Thanks, Jared. No doubt everybody looking forward to seeing what Bartosak and Pouliot can do for the Rebels in net this season. Now, what goes into putting together the Red Deer Rebels roster every year? It's not just a matter of throwing random guys together at training camp and seeing what happens. I recently caught up with Rebels player personnel director Randy Peterson to get the lowdown. I started by asking him about his very busy off-season schedule.
Once we get through the draft, there's a freeze time frame about a week following the draft where you can't contact any players that are undrafted, free agents, that sort of thing. You can keep track with your draft players, that sort of, and your prospects presently. But right then, that's when things start. We started preparing a list as far as from our area scouts and coaches that happen to have seen some players as far as for draft lists. So what we do to keep our camp at this number every year, 2 teams for Maine, 2 teams for rookie, that sort of thing. This year we've done some adjustments where we got 3 for Maine, but to keep our numbers down low, manageable, give kids a really good opportunity for an opportunity to make our hockey club or be listed. What we do is we really target priority players. So we work at that very hard right after the draft. Any undrafted players that have slipped through, any players that are 15-year-old league, playing midget AAA, like I said before, junior A guys that can push our vets. So we really get at that really early. It's an ongoing process, so once you get that confirmations back from those players, then it's a matter of also keeping over the summer. And as the some of them they're free agents, so you lose a few over the summer. It's kids that you can't list and everybody with a 50-man protected list, but so you do lose a couple or 3, and those are unfortunate. But we try to target our areas if we're going to list kids over the summer months to make sure we want them there for sure. That maybe areas of our depth chart that are maybe missing a few pieces in certain positions, certain ages, then that's what we'll do.
Obviously, with that much work to be done in bringing in talent, it's not just Randy doing it by himself. The entire organization plays a key role in making it happen.
Summer months, of course, we split things up there as far as with Jesse Wallen and Bryce Thoma being under 16 coach for Alberta this year has been huge for getting some information on young prospects that age and to monitor ours. But of course, Sean Sutter and myself flip-flop, crisscross the country, that sort of thing, Western Canada and the States. But then we've got our scouting staff, like Lauren Goulet in Manitoba. We've got Bob Neville in Manitoba, Brad Twardick, former Brandon Wheat King, we've added to the staff this year. Matt Kinch. We've done some things where we've wanted to add it. We've added a pretty good mix to our group. You got to have your area guys that are doing a good job as far as doing the background. And it's one thing to watch the players on the ice, but it's so important for that background information. What kind of kids are they? Are they good students? Are they good people in the community, of the family? Do they provide them guidance for support and that sort of thing to develop? And do they understand the commitment level involved to be a Western Hockey League player?
We've already looked at how Brent Sutter taking over as general manager will benefit head coach Jesse Wallen. So how will it benefit Randy and his scouting staff?
I think where he can assist us is, as far as there's in times when we have to make a trade or, that sort of thing. He can help us out there watching players around the league. Obviously, we're doing that too as well, but you can never know the league too good. And, just to have him there as far as to have his eyes on certain players for certain trades, it's bound to help us. And it's just, just having him around as far as to communicate, on a daily basis as far as whether it's how we want to adjust things to develop our list or make it better, and we have a player to list, or then we go through that process. How we're developing our team for not only this year, but the next 2 or 3. Brent has a real keen eye in terms of here's where we're at, here's where we need to be, and as far as for not only immediate future, but 2-3 years down the road. He's got a vision, and he knows how our team wants to, how he wants his team to be played.
Our thanks to Randy Peterson for that great insight. Coming up after the break, the one, the only Cam Moon joins us for his take on this year's Red Deer Rebels team. A little bit later on, we go in the corners with Jared Waldo. We'll be right back.
Southside Dodge Chrysler Jeep and RV Center is proud to serve Central Alberta. 100% satisfaction, friendly salespeople, and excellent customer service. Southside Dodge, home of the $10,000 giveaway.
Hi everyone, Jack here at 360 Fitness Personal Training. If you're looking to lose weight, burn fat, and just feel great in your clothes again, 360 Fitness can get you there. Work one-on-one with our trainers to get you in the best shape of your life. Get results or your money back.
Complete Athlete in Sylvan Lake is Central Alberta's #1 hockey training facility, boasting one of the world's largest skating treadmills and stick handling platforms. Learn, train, perform. Complete Athlete in Sylvan Lake.
Well, we know we're hitting the big time with the show, and we've got the legendary Cam Moon on to join us and talk a little bit about the Rebels here. Mooner, let's start with the training camp and just your overall thoughts. Anything stand out to you? Anything surprising to you so far?
Well, I think it was all pretty standard. Training camp is what that is, and the team whittles it down eventually to get down to what looks like the team. Through the course of the exhibition season, I know the team didn't pick up a victory, and it has to be a little bit concerning to all involved. You'd like to get a couple of wins. I know that's not the primary focus of the preseason. It's evaluating talent and trying to figure out who's going to be on your team. But it would also be nice to win some games too. And it wasn't an issue of goaltending or defense, because both were outstanding. I just need to score a few more goals, and hopefully that comes around.
Could be a foreshadowing as to what we might see from this Rebels team in the regular season, though. Outstanding goaltending from both guys, pretty steady play on the defense. And when it comes to the forwards and offense, it's going to be wait and see.
Well, what they will need is all the returnee players will have to be just a little bit better than they were last season. And there's a lot of experience on this club. Tyson Ness and Charles Inglis and Adam Cambites and Chad Robinson and Turner Elson. I mean, all guys that have played in the league and with the Rebels for quite a while now. And all had some offensive highlights last year. Well, that will just need to go up a little bit. And that's no different than any other team with any other returning players. You expect maybe a little bit more offensively from them as they move up in age. So if they get that, then I think things will be just fine. And you'll expect a little bit from the back end. And Matt Dumba's coming off a year, saw him score 20 goals. So you expect a little offense from him too, and I'm sure they'll get that.
You mentioned Dumba. We've talked about the goalies a little bit. Who else are you looking forward to seeing this year?
Well, I'm really looking forward to watching Connor Bleakley. And we had a great sneak preview of him last year with all the injury trouble and that. He came up from AAA Midget. He played with the UFA Bisons last year and showed some offensive prowess. This guy can really shoot the puck. He's the Rebels' first-round pick in the WHL Bantam draft a couple of years ago. And I think even as a 16-year-old, will be put in roles that he'll be expected to score, whether that be power play time or what have you, or if the team's trailing by one late in a game. I wouldn't be shocked to see a guy like Connor Bleakley on the ice. Also, Hayden Fleury, 16-year-old defenseman. Again, he played a little bit last season, so we did get to see him play. Tremendous poise with the puck. He's a Rebels' second-round pick from a couple of years ago, and through the preseason looked very good.
What's the mood around this team right now? Talking to the coaches, talking with Brent, the general manager right now, a sense of optimism as this regular season's coming around?
Yeah, I think so. I think there really is. This team's starting to figure itself out. They've just starting to get to know each other, and it's all part of a process. You do some team building exercises and things like that, and then the team evolves into a team. But I think there is some optimism because of the amount of players that are back. You got healthy net-minding Patrick Bartosek back and healthy. Bolton Pouliot playing very good in the preseason and showing that he's taken that next step after a solid ending to last season. So I think the optimism is high.
You've got contacts all over the place. Break down this Central Division for us. I think we all expect the Edmonton Oil Kings to more or less pick up where they left off last year. What about the rest of the teams?
Well, yeah, I think Edmonton is the class of not only the Central Division, but likely the Western Hockey League. 20 players back from last year's WHL Championship squad. So they have to be the odds-on favorite. I think the Calgary Hitmen are a team that's going to be very good. They've got a lot of players back. They're just starting to sort out their 20-year-old situation and get down to it there. But it was a pretty good team last year. I think it'll be a pretty good team again this year. They have a real good shot at being the number 2 spot. Now, Red Deer can push for that spot and have that opportunity to look at that number 2 spot in the Central Division. They're going to have to play very well, but that is very possible. And then after that, Medicine Hat is not far behind the Red Deer Rebels. Lethbridge Hurricanes have taken a step up from last year. They were a younger team. They continue to get a little better, so I see them being a little bit better. The Kootenay Ice are a very young team this year, and I'd probably put them at the bottom right now, only because of their lack of experience and a lot of young guys. That team that won the WHL a couple of years ago, just about all those guys have now moved on, so it's a bit of a rebuilding year for them.
So, just playing off the sense of optimism we were talking about a moment ago, it sounds like the opportunity is definitely there for this club to do some big things this year.
I think it is, and a lot of things will have to go right, but that's the way it is for everybody. If you're going to have success, a lot of things will have to go right. But this team has depth on the blue line. both goaltenders looking really good here in the preseason. The scoring will have to be by committee. There's nobody on that squad that is going to have a chance at winning the scoring title in the WHL this season. But if they can have 3 lines that can put some goals in the net and give them a chance, and that way nobody can key on one liner or one guy, this team has an opportunity. We look at what happened with this club up until the end of November last year. Things were rolling pretty good. They were having success. They were playing as a team. They were getting great net minding. Make no mistake about it. That had a lot to do with it. But that team looked pretty good, and we're seeing just about all those guys back this year.
Rumor has it you're on the radio again this year?
Yeah, I think so. We'll get the broadcast going Friday. Can't wait.
Mike Muller's back this year.
Yeah. You can't keep Moles away. He's coming.
Yeah, that'd be good. So, yeah, another year of broadcast on 106.7 The Drive, and we look forward to a very exciting, very interesting, I dare say intriguing Red Deer Rebels season.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Thanks, Mooner.
Thank you.
Cam Moon, the voice of the Rebels, joining us here on Southside Dodge Rebels this week. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll go in the corners with Jared Waldo. A little bit later on, we'll check in on a brand new Rebels fan site and tell you about how you can get your picture here on the show. We'll be right back.
Elson to hack the shot. Score!
Hey, Red Deer Rebels fans, have we got the show for you? Southside Dodge Rebels This Week is your #1 source for everything Rebels.
Nice goal! Lear got railed by Dumba!
Highlights, interviews, stats, and exclusive behind-the-scenes features brought to you each and every week by those who have their eye on the Rebels all season long.
He lands a left from under. He gets it.
Southside Dodge Rebels This Week, weeknights on Shaw TV. Welcome back to the show. It's time to go in the corners, and for that, we turn things over to Jared Waldo.
Well, the preseason is done. The regular season gets going this weekend. And what do we know about the Red Deer Rebels to this point? Right now, we're not sure. An 0-6 record into the preseason. And as I've said earlier in previous episodes on Rebels This Week, I don't put that much stock into the preseason or the stats. Clearly, the Rebels don't either, reassigning Trace Elson. But when you think about an 0-6 record, this isn't a very good positive to enter the regular season. However, it doesn't mean anything. We're not worried about the stats. There are more questions than answers at this point for the Red Deer Rebels. What are we going to see from their 20-year-old veterans? Can Charles Inglis, Adam Kambeitz, and Turner Elson lead this team? Can they reach the 30-goal plateau? What about Patrick Bartasek? How is that shoulder going to hold up? Does Bolton Pouliot push him for more starts? And what about this blue line? Matt Dumba, Cale Detzel, Jan Bittner. They're all going to have to lead this Rebels D core. Can they do it? What about Dumba? Is he ready to take that next step into the NHL as early as this season, maybe next season, once the NHL lockout figures itself out? The bottom line is this. We're not quite sure what we see from the Red Deer Rebels to this point. An 0-6 record may leave a sour taste in the mouths of some fans, but until the regular season hits this Friday against the Calgary Hitmen, we won't know for sure. Check more out from me at rebelrebellion.com.
While the Rebels themselves have been busy practicing, mostly out of Penhold, working toward the start of the regular season, crews have been going around the clock here at the NMAX Centrium trying to get the seats and suites expansion done in relatively short order. It's somewhat behind schedule, but here's the latest update.
The new seats and suites will not be ready for the home opener this Friday. We're meeting with TimCon on Wednesday of this week to get an update and get a completion date. We've had some issues around structural design. We've worked with the Rebels, and they're providing the seat holders and suite holders with alternate seats in the arena. There's been some take-up by the suite holders, but they've been very understanding about how things have gone. Some of them have been on a waiting list for 12 years, and another 2 or 3 months isn't going to hold them up any, but they're all happy that they've gotten suites to begin with.
Something brand new this season, a number of Red Deer Rebels diehard fans have gotten together and started their own website in hopes of spurring fan support on even more. rdrebelnation.com is a place where you can go and read fan blogs, check out some pictures and videos, and it's also a place where you can sign up in hopes of, well, perhaps taking a fan bus to a Rebels road game this season. Host Jim McKay has put a lot of work into his website this year and is encouraging all fans to get on board.
We're doing fan contests, just informing the fans on our bus trips to road games. Doing some blogs, going to be putting up some videos here throughout the season.
Now, speaking of pictures, there's still a chance for you to get your fan pictures here on a future episode of Southside Dodge Rebels This Week. Hit us up on Twitter at Rebels This Week. Use the hashtag FanPics and send us your pictures. That'll do it for today's episode. We'll leave you with some shots of crews putting in the ice for this Friday's home opener at the NMAX Centrium. We'll see you next time.